Hi, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. Look, guys, I found this super cool How to Get the Most for Your Money book, and it has over 100 sets of plans. It's a really big book. There's a lot in here, so I don't plan to get through the whole thing today, but I thought we could take a look at it and just see what we're looking at. So this is from 1948, and it's how to save on timing purchase of lot, on recognizing plans that are lowest in construction cost, on a new way of using architectural services, on dealing with the builder and the supervisor of construction. So I thought that kind of seemed like it could be really interesting. I like looking at house plans. I think that's always fun to do. So we're in 1948, so it's post World War II, but before, it's sort of 48, late 40s. We're at the beginning of mid-century modern architecture and design. I would say. I'm no expert. I think that's right. But this house, look at this house. There are windows all the way here, and then it has the corner, and the windows come here and here. Oh, I love it. And then they have this like trellis over the windows that has flowering, maybe wisteria or something on it. Oh my gosh, look, there's a greenhouse. Oh, I've always wanted a greenhouse. There is something about greenhouses I just love. Colonial Dawn's new dress. Economy in a Cape Cod. I live in a kind of Cape Cod style house right now. And my last house was Cape Cod. Here's the cover house with a ranch variation. Okay. So it looks like this is your driveway and the entrance is here on the side. So right here, this is future garage. So if you're on a real budget, you don't build the garage yet. You just leave it. Okay. But then you enter here, and that takes you into the living room, which is this big window right here. So that's pretty nice. And it's a almost 17 by 12 foot living room. There's no formal dining room, but you go into the kitchen, and here's a, dinette kitchen dining room, which is funny because I have a formal dining room. And then when I first moved into the house, I thought I'd knock the wall out between the kitchen and the dining room and have big open. And I'm so glad I never did that, because I have a little 1950s, like a two-top table. That's a restaurant for a two-seater. And I've put a lamp on it, and usually it's my husband and I, or if my son comes over, I'll drag a chair in. And we sit around this little table in the kitchen, and I love it. We turn on our music and have some beers and sit around the table. And you're like, because it's in the kitchen and there's a wall, people from the street where there's a window, they can't see you in there. So you have a little privacy. I don't know. I like it. I'm glad I didn't knock that wall out. Anywho, so this is sort of a kitchen dining, like breakfast nook dining area. Well, it's 8 by 11, so it's pretty large actually. And then there's a big window back there. It looks like a double door, probably a slider or French doors. Oh, French doors would be pretty back here. And then here's the kitchen, and it has a window. I'm trying to see. It might be a door. That actually might be the door, and that's a window. I almost would want to put more windows here to make the kitchen square and have this be French doors leading off the dinette, but whatever. Okay. And then you come over here and go through this. There's a closet. Here's a full bath with a tub, sink, and a toilet. And then there are 2 bedrooms that are about 10 by 12, 10 by 11. They both have closets. And then there's a linen closet and broom closet. And on the bedrooms, you have a window on the front and the side, the back and the side. So that's nice. And then you can go down into a basement. Yeah. And then they have the design for this one, which is, let's see, similar, but they have a galley kitchen here. So it's the dining area, a galley kitchen, and then they have the utility room. I see. This is a ranch, so there's no basement. This one, there's a basement, so your utility, which is your washer dryer, are in the basement. And so they have a bigger kitchen. This one has the utility room on the main floor, which is nice if you're like, you can't get up and down stairs. Then it's kind of nice. So they have room for a future porch. Oh, that's cool. So this is a screened in area. Yeah, that's kind of nice, like a little 3-season. And then a garage and storage behind the porch. I almost think I'd want to bump the dining out. And then this is one of those garages that's too deep. I think you put a car in a car, which I don't know, with the cars are from like the 60s were so big, you wouldn't be able to fit them. But I have a garage like this that's, instead of being too wide, it's too deep. It's silly. I mean, no one's parking their cars like that, or at least I'm not. So I have changed mine into my little art studio. But you could just park one car, make the back of this garage storage, and then bump out this dining kitchen so it's bigger. I think that's what I would do. But anyway, okay, so you have a 17 by 14 living room, and then there's the bathroom, and bedroom 1 is 12 by 10, and bedroom 2 is 10 by 10. They each have closets, there's linen. Yeah, simple design. All right, what's this book all about? In which you ask questions and the author answers them. I like the way they this is what we are doing on this page. How much should I know about actual construction before I take my first steps? Answer, absolutely nothing. Okay, fair. How come you give me that kind of answer? Oh, okay, well, all right. It's an ad, I think. Here's charming small homes may be built from designs shown in this book. The one above was built in Niagara Falls, New York by Walter A. Johnson Building Company. You used to be able to order from Sears catalog the whole house. You would just pay for it, mail order, and they'd ship you all the bits of it, and you construct it on site. I think that's how it worked. My brother actually owns a few properties he rents, but he has a Sears house. Look at this one with the stone fireplace. Kind of cool. Utilities. How to recognize an economical plan. An economical type of plan to choose. One straight line foundation built on an almost perfect square, supports all rooms. A roof of small area, that's smart, without breaks or dormers will cover the house. Yeah, okay. So you have just your footing and it's all in one area, so you're not building out like that. And your roof is all within there, so you don't have to build tons of roof because that's expensive. And probably plumb it so that your kitchen, bathrooms near each other, and your upstairs bathrooms directly above it. Let's see. Yep. So they have front door, living room, dining room, kitchen, and here is the sink with a window over it, which is lovely. And then steps. Now these steps go to the basement. Over off the living room is where the steps going upstairs. And right above the kitchen here is your bathroom. So yeah, see how all your plumbing's on the same area there. That would be pretty good. And then you have a 8 by 10, 9 by 11, 15 by 9 bedrooms. This is a nice little, I think they call that like a 4-square design. That's a great, if I could find like a house like that for my son's starter home, that'd be perfect. See, look, this you're going to have to build footing all the way across all this, roofing all the way across all this. What do they say? Yep. Okay. Illustrating expensive features of many one-story designs. 2 plumbing installations are situated at opposite ends of the house. Yep. You have a bathroom here. You have a bathroom here. You have your kitchen here. So all these have to be plumbed. And the other thing, and they probably talk about this, but when you heat a house like this, you heat the downstairs so it's warm enough during the daytime. But the upstairs, you just put lots of blankets on your bed because the heat rises. So you shouldn't require as much heating because this will get warmed up just by what you have here. While a house like this, you have to heat the whole thing. All right. 2 plumbing. Heating ducts must be long to reach bedroom, bath, and utility room. Many breaks in the foundation line and a costly roof are required. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. So this house, though, does look pretty good. Where's our front door entry? You've got an entry, like foyer here, which is nice. And then a closet for your coats, which a lot of these didn't have. And then, well, I don't love that. A lot of doors. You got a door here. And then I assume a door to the closet. And then you can go to this bedroom from there. But anyway, and then you can go to the living room, which is big, 23 feet by 13. And there's a den, which is kind of fancy, and a bathroom, heater, and then a bedroom over here. And here's a porch, and they have a thing called wood. So I guess that's for, they must have a fireplace. Oh yeah, this is fireplace. That's kind of interesting. It looks like you can put the wood in from outside and pull it from the inside. I think that's what they're showing there. It would be cool if their outdoor had a fireplace too. Okay. And then you walk into the dining room, which is also 11 by 10, into the kitchen where they have 2 big windows. Oh, that's so nice. And a range, a refrigerator. There's your sink. That's one of the things you want in a kitchen is like a diamond shape between your stove, your refrigerator, and your sink. That's what they say. Okay, and then service. Interesting. Okay. Tray. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure what this is. Okay. And then here's a full bathroom because there's a bedroom here. So wait, are we only seeing 2 bedrooms? There's a bedroom here and a bedroom here. A bath here and a bath here. It's only 2 bedroom. Unless you turn this den into a bedroom, but the den doesn't have a closet, so technically it can't be a bedroom. I feel like we could fit another bedroom on here, but okay. And then here's a big garage and a porch. All right. An economical 1-floor plan having a basement but no attic. The straight line foundation shows only 1 break. It makes an almost perfect rectangle. So you have a stoop and you come in. There's a coat closet. Here's your big living room, which has 1, 2, 3, 4 windows, which is pretty nice. That's probably pretty nice. Okay. And then you go into the hall. Okay, there's no formal dining. Nope. So you go into this kitchen, which is 13 by 8. That's not huge. It looks like we have a refrigerator, stove, and sink. So you're going to have to put your table here for dining, which is nice. You have a window here, window here. As long as it's big enough, because I'm worried you have your stove here. You don't want your dining to be right butted up against a stove top. I don't know. I'd have to look at this more carefully. This feels like it's too small to have your table, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay. But what they're showing is they have the sink here and they have the bath here. So you just plumb this area. You don't have to have plumbing anywhere else. Yeah, so you have a full bath. And then here's a bedroom that's 9 by 11 with a closet. And your second bedroom is 9 by 12 with a closet. It is nice, though, that they have the bath between the bedroom and the kitchen, and then the linen and the closet between the living room and the bedroom. So you don't have any walls that are just bedroom to living or bedroom to kitchen, because that's too noisy. This says a fine plan, unhampered livability, but can you afford the cost? It has about the usual number of rooms found in the average two-story house, but here all rooms require their own foundation and roof. Heating duct installation would be expensive. So they're saying a two-story house is just going to cost less to build, which is kind of interesting because, I like this word. Okay. You go in your living room. You have a fireplace. You have built-in books. Love it. And there are These are 2 French doors and another 2 French doors. I love that. So on either side of your fireplace are these doors that open into what they have called the solarium. What? And it has these big... This might all be glass, because these don't look like solid walls. So it's a window, a window, a window, and then 2 doors that some reason, they're opening in. Or are they windows? I don't know. No, they're probably double doors that go onto your big patio. What? Oh, I love it. I do like that. And then, let's see. How do you get to the kitchen? So you can either go this way to the kitchen or you go through here. Oh, this is the front door. Wait, I'm trying to map this out. Okay. So you go to the right, you go to the living room. You go to the left, you go to the breakfast room. I guess that's all right. So you'd walk straight from the living room through this hall to the breakfast room to the kitchen. I guess that's okay. It's interesting that in this fairly big house, they don't technically have dining room, but if this is actually glass and you can close it up in the winter, you could put a table for dining or for games or whatever in your solarium. I like that a lot. I would love that. I could have my coffee there. Out here on the patio, I could put my bees and I could have an owl box right here and watch all the wildlife. That's pretty nice. Okay. So here's our kitchen, where we have a double sink with a big window above it. Love it. Love it. 11 by 9 kitchen, a 6 by 7 breakfast room. Great. A laundry room. Nice. And off the laundry room are the steps to the basement. You have a garage. Okay. Now, let's go over here. So we have a hall. And in this hall, we have 1, 2, 3 bedrooms and a full bath. This is the only bathroom in the house. I think that's the only bathroom. But you can get to it from your main. So it's not like, there's no half bath in this house. It used to be not like now everybody feels like they need to have 500 bathrooms in their house. But I grew up in a house with 1 bathroom. And there were 5 of us, and we shared 1 bathroom, and you never thought twice about it ever. And then when I was about 11, my dad built an addition on our house, and he added 2 new bathrooms. So then we went from a 1 bathroom to a 2.5 bath. And there was a toilet like randomly in the basement, because that's the way it is sometimes. But anyway, yeah, I don't remember it ever. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I do remember occasionally when my sister would be in there. She'd I don't know, she'd go in there and read books or something. I'd be like, pounding on the door. I gotta go to the bathroom. All right. So we have bedroom, closet, a linen closet, a full bath, another bedroom. Yeah, it's pretty good. Housing cost and family income. Housing is one of the largest items in the family budget, and for most families, will take up from 20 to 30% of their income. And they have different payment plans and payment periods. How much you should plan for upkeep. That's something a lot of times people don't take into consideration is if you own a home, just maintenance and upkeep. You got to kind of plan a little bit for that. Although I have to be honest, I've lived in my home for, I think, almost 20 years. Or maybe more than, I don't know, I'm not sure. But around 20 years. And yeah, we've replaced the water heater. And we just recently had to replace the heating and cooling because it stopped functioning properly. But overall, we've done most of the repairs ourselves. It hasn't been that bad. Okay, what is a solar house? In 48? What is this? Look at this. Oh my gosh. Look at these giant 2-story windows. And then there's like a 2-story. This is like a mid-century masterpiece. And the wood coming down, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I think today, if you wanted to get windows like this, I have no idea what that would cost you. I have no idea. The picture above shows some of the open plan possibilities of the solar house. Kellett resident, Menasha, Wisconsin, architect George Fred Keck. So Wisconsin is where Frank Lloyd Wright had Taliesin, which I'll do an episode on because there's an interesting story about Taliesin. But I wonder if this George Fred Keck, was like a student of his, because this has a Frank Lloyd Wright-esque. There's like stone here and wood. I don't know. Left. The T.A. Tenhoon home, designed by George Keck. Yeah, he must have worked with him. And then look at these windows. Love that. Oh, look. Oh my gosh. Is that? No, that's not that. If I could have a house, you know what I'd love? Like in my kitchen, I do have a window above my sink, but I'd love to tear out all the cabinets, upper cabinets, and make it all glass. Like the whole back of the house glass. Because I sit outside like all the time, any chance I get. I just love being in nature so much. And in the winter, sometimes I'm out there, I'm all bundled up, and I sit outside like Bernie Sanders or something. You know that picture I'm talking about, right? With the big gloves. Okay. The split level, a trend in house design. Oh, okay. See, what's the difference? If this is, okay, you have living room, kitchen, you go down halfway to garage and utility, and you go up halfway to bedroom. How is this saving you money over the 4-square, though? Because the 4-square would be all... The only thing I don't love is in some split levels, the bedrooms are below ground a little bit. I don't really like feeling like I'm below ground in a bedroom. But they have all these are garage, utility, hobby and utility, study and maid's room. Wow. Family work and play, family living and quiet area. So in other words, the kids got to go in the basement. And bedrooms. Well, I don't know. The greatest construction economy can be achieved in the planning of a three-level house when the outline of the entire house is held in rectangular form. That's kind of what I was just saying. But if you do all this, why not just dig out this whole thing and make the whole thing two-story, because you'd get more living space. You know what I'm saying? I guess that costs more to dig out the foundation all the way. You'd still have to have it dug out a certain amount. Whatever. Okay. Cape Cod adapted to new utility core. Okay. How to obtain blueprints of houses shown. This house doesn't look like that much, just looking at it. But look at this window. It is a double window and then another single on each side. So you can open these up individually. Actually, now I'm looking at it, this is what I have in the back of my living room. And I love it. It's a gigantic window. But these two are like regular pane, so you can open them to let air in. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I love the little flower box too. That's so cute. This is like just a super cute little house with some cute paint. Yeah, it's pretty cute. What do you call that? Like a bungalow? Is that what that is? Roof ties garage and covered porch to house. Oh, this roof right here, it's actually open air. But you go in the garage and then you can walk under the roof line into the house. Yeah. Okay. A small house with a large reception room. Okay, I like that. A lot of livability is packed into the 22 by 28 foot rectangle on which this small 3-level house is planned. It must have a basement because it's not. Oh, well, maybe it's a little attic. Let's see. Where do you see? Walk in the front door right here. So there's reception and vestibule. Wow. And it's 10 by 8. Yeah, actually that's a little bit of room. And then you walk up 3 steps. Oh, I see. It's sort of a multi-level. So you're walking up. Oh, I don't know about that. To the living room, which is 16 by 11. And the kitchen, which is 10 by 9 and has this little dining area. So no dining room. But on the reception and vestibule level is where the basement activity area is up. Is that? And you can walk up to the kitchen. I have been in this exact house one time. I walk through open houses sometimes. And I swear I went into it was in Maryland. And it looked over the, I may have been I forget. It was one of it was off the Chesapeake Bay, like a little inlet, and it looked over that, so it was waterfront-ish, and so I was like, oh, that would be cool, but it was set up like this, and there was something about it, and I can't recall exactly what, but I feel like in that particular house, the basement area, it was damp. There was there was probably a leak in the roof. I don't know. I don't remember. But I just remember going, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. All right. So you go up these steps and there's a full bath and a nursery or study, which is 8 by 6. It does have a closet, but they're not calling it a bedroom, which is interesting. Okay. And then there's a bedroom that's 9 by 11. And a bedroom that's 10 by 14. And then these pretty big storage areas. But the weird thing about this, if you didn't have that storage and you had this open, you'd have 2 windows in this bedroom. But for some reason, they have this window as storage. So right here. Huh. And you have storage back here. I don't know. In my house, it is listed as a lot less bedrooms than what I actually have in the house. But one of the bedrooms is small like this. It's probably 9 by 7 but it has a closet. And it's big enough you can fit a twin bed. My son actually picked that bedroom because he liked the coziness of it. And he had his twin bed and he had a desk. And then in the closet, we put like shelves. So because he didn't hang clothes, he folded clothes. So instead of a dresser, he had like all these shelves. And it was plenty big for a kid, you know. Not even a kid, he was a teenager. But he stayed in that room until he moved out, pretty much, almost. So yeah, don't discount little rooms like that because kids like kind of cozy rooms sometimes. All right, traditional colonial with covered porch. I love a covered porch. All right, what are we doing? We're going in the front door. On the left, you have a 12 by 11 dining room with 2 windows. Nice. On the right, you have a 20 and a half by 11 and a half living room. That's pretty big. And it has 1, 2, 3 windows, a fireplace, and a door that goes to this porch. Okay. The last house I had in Glen Burnie, Maryland, it was kind of backwards from this, but it had a living room, and there was a window here, a window here, a window here, a window here, no fireplace. But where this fireplace was, it opened onto a screened-in porch that was all brick with a wood, like, ceiling on the porch. It was so cute and cozy, and because it was screened in, you could leave the door open in the summer and walk in and out. I loved it so much. I loved it. And we built an addition on that house. We took it from a 2-bedroom with a tiny kitchen to a 3-bedroom with a big giant kitchen and a big pantry, and we added a 1.5 bath and a mudroom. Oh, it was nice. It was nice. But anyway, Center Hall Colonial boasts breakfast room. And by the way, with that addition, the house was from the 40s. We made everything, like we got windows that matched the windows. We had the doors, all be like really cool. Like everything was period correct. It looked seamless. Like people didn't even know we added the addition. That's how seamless it was. And like the realtor's like, well, they added all this. And then people are like, what? This doesn't, you'd never know as an addition. It was seamless. And by the way, my dad and my husband and I and family came and helped, and we did it ourselves. But after we sold it, it went up for sale again like 6 years later, and the people who bought it from us tore out all the perfectly laid tile, or they tiled over, I don't know, with some cheap big, Home Depot Italian stuff, and they took out the window, and we had a door with a mud room, and then it went into the, I can't even talk about it. They like did the cheapest junk stuff, like all this Home Depot construction grade stuff, and I was like, what? So basically, if you add an addition before you move out, just know that they don't care. Anywho, okay, Center Hall Colonial boasts breakfast room. Oh, I love a breakfast room. Okay, so you walk in the front. This is cute. You have a little vestibule with a closet. That's nice. And then a hall, and there are the steps up. So you go to the right, you have your dining room, or you can go down this hallway to the breakfast room and the kitchen, but also the dining room goes in the kitchen. This is great. This right here, this layout's really good. So you can just have a little family dinner in here, but if you have a more formal, like Thanksgiving dinner, you could have it in here. Or like we did, when my kids were little, we ate breakfast in the kitchen room, usually, and then dinner every night at our dining table. And then to the left is your big living room that has a giant window, a big window in the back, and 2 windows on the side. This is a fireplace, isn't it? Yeah, it's a fireplace. So which of these is the door to the porch? Or is this, wait. I'm not sure. Are these both doors? These might both be doors. Okay. These are windows and I don't know. But anyway, and then it goes onto this porch here, which I would love to see be screened in so that it can, you can have these doors open. And then there's a porch all along the back, I think. Or no, that's just property line. I don't know. Yeah, that's a functional house. Brick colonial with overhang front dormer. Yeah. All right. Is there anything super special? It's similar to this, but smaller, I think. Ooh, I do love this round. I feel like I want to tell you a story, but I don't know if you're sick of hearing my stories. But I'm going to tell you anyway. In the area where I am, there are a lot of old houses from like the 20s. So on Facebook, one of the neighbors moves into a house. And it's a brick house. It's a brick house. And it has brick around the front door that curves like this, right? Can you picture it? So picture this as red bricks, right? I'm not much of an artist, but okay. And then it's a wood front door. And it probably has like one of those handles that comes down like this, but very fancy. And then there's like some kind of window. I don't know, something like that. Okay. It's phenomenal looking. I think there were even 2 layers of brick. So it's sort of went in like a cove. You know what I'm saying? I think. And then the rest of the house is brick. Okay. Or stone or something. So the front door is wood. The front door she moved in and she said, who can I get to redo the brick and replace the door? What? And she posted pictures of just like a standard square. I don't even know, not even interesting like that, like a Home Depot door. And I was like, you could get somebody to just, and the only reason was that the wood on the door was like faded. It needed to be sanded down and restained, and she was going to replace all the brick and the door. I had to stop looking because I don't know what she ended up doing. And I don't exactly know where the house is. I just saw a Facebook post, but I was like, that makes me cry. All right. Rear staircase conserves space for livability. I used to babysit for a family who was super, super wealthy in Michigan. And they bought this house. Actually, I don't know how wealthy they were, but I think they were. The house seemed wealthy, but I guess in a way it was probably like not in the best part of the Detroit area. But it was a mansion. And it was all, I mean, I was a kid, but it was all stone. But the weirdest part was in the kitchen, there was, I can't exactly remember, but it was like a secret door. And they showed it to me, but it was like behind and they showed it to me because sometimes their kids would go up there, I guess. But anyway, and you open it up and it was a back stairway up to the upstairs, which I'm sure was for the help or whatever back. But when you went up there, there were like no lights, and there was this whole hallway before you got to the bedroom area where there was like extra narrow and no lights. It was like, I think I had just watched The Shining, and it was all I could think about. I got so freaked out when I babysit there. I was like, oh my God. I'd like stay in the kids' room with them. Like after they fell asleep, I'd just sit in there and read because I was like scared to be anywhere else in the house. Anyway, a masonry Cape Cod with 2 chimneys. Nice. So what do you get? You get a chimney. You get a chimney in the living / dining. But then what's this chimney doing? Because it's sort of in between the closet and the bedroom. That's the chimney. I'm confused. I guess it's... What? What is the purpose of this chimney if it's between the closet and the bedroom? Is it just for this master bedroom up here? They don't call it that anymore, do they? Sorry. I forgot that there's a name for it. The main bedroom. Although these bedrooms are pretty equal in size. That says closet. This doesn't say closet. I'm a little confused by why this chimney exists if it's not. I would love like a fireplace in my kitchen. You know how like you see pictures from Europe, like Ireland or something, and they have a big hearth in their kitchen, which probably they used to use for cooking. I don't know. But it always seems like so cozy to have that. Small house with low eaves hug the ground. You'd have to have a very nice looking roof for this house to look really cute. Like if you had like a slate roof or something, this could look really like cute. And then you have to fill these flower boxes with stuff. But when you have this much house line, hey, this is kind of like my house. Yeah, kind of. Okay, let's see what's happening here. We have the entrance. Here's the living room. Okay, so the living room has a window here. It has a window here, but they're calling it the alcove. So that's assuming you might put a table here for eating. So the living room really only has this one window on the side. I don't know if that's enough window for my taste. Okay, and then in the kitchen, we have 2 windows. You could put a table here. I don't know, maybe this is enough window for the living room. I'm not sure. I have to walk through it. Okay, you go down to a basement, maybe? Well, no. Down, up. What? Yeah, I guess down, up. I'm a little confused because this doesn't seem to be up. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, so from the living room, you can go to the bath, go to the hall. You have a smaller, well, it's not too small, 11 by 10 bedroom and a 13 by 11 bedroom. And there's your bath. Yeah, that's like a tiny house, but it's everything you need, really, isn't it? 12 by 8 kitchen, kind of a galley. It's kind of like everything you need. Yeah, it's okay. Gable accommodates large 3rd bedroom. Well, I guess I'll save some of this for next time. Let me know if you enjoyed that. I can look through more because look how much. There's so much here. I don't know if that's saying people will be interested. I know you probably can't see those very well.